Hi everyone, Darren from i-LAN. Today I'm going to show you the easiest way to terminate optic fibre cables. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like below and give the subscribe button a click as well. I'll be using DINTEK's ezi-Fibre connectors. Now these are a mechanical connector which eliminate a lot of the labour and skill involved in traditional glue and polish connectors. They're great for DIYs and emergency repairs on broken fibres in particular. They're quick, they work well and they're dead easy to use. There are a couple of tricks to them though. Stick around and I'll show you some tips on getting them right first time. If you've used mechanical optical fibre connectors before, please let me know in the comments below. Before we get into it, be aware that glass fibres are tiny and needle sharp. If you get a glass splinter in your eye or in your finger, you're not going to be happy. Also, while I've found no evidence of this actually happening to anyone, technically they're small enough to enter the bloodstream. But the greater risk of getting one internally is if you drop one into your lunch without realising it. To quote Ferris Bueller, you could wind up in a doctor's office. That's worse than school. But usually they're just going to hurt and they're really hard to see to get them out again. So wear suitable eye protection like safety goggles and make sure you find any pieces you drop. It's also a good idea to keep some Teflon tweezers handy. Metal tweezers tend to snap the fibre off under the skin. A magnifying glass can also come in handy in that situation. And work on a black surface if you can too. It makes any dropped fibres a lot easier to see. In my previous video I explained how optic fibre is actually two layers of glass. The core in the centre, surrounded by a glass cladding, and outside of that we have an acrylic coating and sometimes a strength member and an outer jacket. Today I'll be working with a single mode pigtail which only has the outer acrylic coating that we need to deal with. It's the coating we need to strip off to fit a connector, not the cladding. It's not possible to remove the cladding. It's made as one piece with the fibre core during the manufacturing process and the fibre won't work without it anyway. I'll be fitting a single mode ezi-Fibre connector. Stick around after that and I'll also show you how to fit an ezi-Fibre mechanical splice. Mechanical splices are also reusable if you might stick one on as a temporary repair until someone can come back with a fusion splicer for example, but there's no issues with leaving one of these in place long term if you like as well. We'll need a few tools like a fibre checker. This is basically a laser pointer we can shine through the fibre to make sure the light ends up where we want it to go. Kevlar scissors. Ordinary scissors won't last long cutting through glass or Kevlar strength members. Fibre strippers and a fibre cleaver. The cleaver gives us a nice clean cut at the length we need it to be for the connector. Okay, let's take a look at terminating a single mode SC connector. First we want to plug the fibre checker in so we can see what's going on while we work. Next we unscrew the back of the connector and put that onto the fibre. Push it down out of the way for the moment. There's also a rubber sleeve that goes inside the back of the connector. Thread that on as well and push it down out of the way. Next we take the fibre strippers. Now these have 3 holes. We're going to use the centre one to start with, stripping off about 10mm of coating at a time so we don't risk breaking the fibre. The larger hole on the strippers is for optic fibre cable with jackets to strip the jacket off. Now we're going to use the smallest hole and we're going to run it down the length of our stripped fibre. And that is the reason why. See that extra bit of coating that came off? That causes all kinds of issues when we go to cleave the fibre and try to fit it into the connector if we don't get that off. I'll run it through that a couple more times just to make sure I got all of it. Now we give it a good clean with an alcohol wipe. You want to wrap it around the unstripped coating part of the cable and wipe away from you so you don't risk breaking the fibre or stabbing yourself. Do that a few times as well to make sure it's nice and clean. Now it's time to cleave. The cleaver has gradients marked inside it so we can cleave our exposed fibre to the right length. If you find the fibre has a bit of a curve to it, like this one, you can use it to your advantage by pointing the curve downwards as you insert it into the cleaver. Put the flap down to hold it in place. Now we can double check we've got it set to the right length. We want 12.5 to 13mm on these, so we line that up with the number 3 or somewhere between the number 2 and 3. Now cleave by pushing the sliding bolt through. Notice the light went out on the end of the fibre there, so we know the cleave worked. And make sure that bit of offcut goes into a suitable bin. Okay, insert it into the connector. Take it nice and easy. You'll know it's in the right place when you get a good strong light coming out the end. Now hold it there and push the tabs in. Beautiful. Now push that rubber boot into place, if I can find it. That goes inside the back of the connector. And screw the back of the connector on. The final step is to put the cover on. And if it's going to be a while before it gets plugged in anywhere, you can put this little cap back on to protect the end from dust. Job done! Let's now take a look at a mechanical splice, which is what we use to join two optical fibre cables together. First we need to make sure the locking tabs are out. DINTEK have this little plastic tool to make this a little bit easier, but fingernails or a small screwdriver will do the job just as well. We prepare and cleave the fibres exactly the same way to 12.5 to 13mm. Insert carefully into the splice one side at a time. Once it's all the way in, you can push the locking tab in for that side. Now do the same on the other side. And lock it in. Okay, it's working, but I've got way too much light coming out of my splice, so I'd say that second side slipped out a bit just as I pushed the tab in. Not a problem, I'll just push that tab out again and have another go. Okay, that looks much better, and I've got a nice strong light coming out of my cable. Job done! So that's all there is to it. Who knew optic fibre could be so easy? The main thing to remember is to use the smallest hole on the cable strippers to get rid of that final layer of coating, and then everything usually runs quite smoothly from there. If you like this video, please give it a like below, and don't forget to subscribe. Give the bell a click too if you'd like notifications of any new videos as they go up. Links in the description as well. Bye for now!